Hi, everyone. I'm Katie Kiersey, and I run marketing here at Right Side Up. For those of you who aren't familiar with Right Side Up, we are a collective of marketing specialists who have helped more than 600 companies hit their growth goals. We have expertise across all marketing channels, including performance, lifecycle, SEO, social, analytics, and creative, to name just a few. Today, we're going to be digging into Amazon and everything you need to know to get your products to rank in the top organic search positions, including why and how to leverage Amazon ads as part of your strategy. And it's a pleasure to introduce you to today's presenter, Matt Altman. Matt leads our e-commerce marketplace team, which helps both emerging and established brands maximize sales through third-party marketplaces like Amazon, Walmart.com, Boxed, Thrive, and others. They focus on end-to-end optimization, from innovation to fulfillment, to content optimization, advertising, and analytics. He has a lot of great insights to share with you today. Before I turn it over to Matt, just wanted to cover a couple of quick logistics. First, please submit your questions throughout the session using Zoom's Q&A functionality at the bottom of your screen, and we'll get to as many of your questions as we can at the end. And then second, I will be recording the session and sharing the recording as well as Matt's slides with you via email in the coming days, so keep an eye out for that. All right, that's enough from me, so I'll turn it over to you, Matt.
Awesome. Well, we will dive right in. Want to make sure we have time for any questions that come through. All right. So as Katie mentioned, today we're going to be going through really how to unlock your organic rankings through Amazon ads. This setup can be used throughout any time period for that product. So it can be in the launch, later on down the line, or even as sales are starting to diminish on legacy products. The three big things that we're going to be going over today are really your keyword selection, how to make sure your product is set up correctly, and then how to actually implement the right campaigns to go ahead and get the rankings that you want. So keyword selection and listing optimization. So with all listings on Amazon, there is kind of a second factor within the Amazon algorithm that really looks at relevancy. So that's why kind of doing this background research is key, and making sure you're giving Amazon the right endpoints to give you the highest relevancy score before you even start running ads against a lot of these keywords. The second biggest piece is obviously volume that is moving. So we want to make sure we're selecting the right keywords that are moving enough volume to actually make a difference in our day-to-day performance. And then really looking for our market fit among the products that are on Amazon and finding where we can actually win against keywords on similar products or even products that are outside what we would think would be our current market. So one way that we do this, and we highly recommend people use a software called Data Dive. It actually spits out a lot of this information for you automatically. The sheet's fully created by the software, where all you're doing is really selecting the products that are similar to yours plus your product. And it's giving you just kind of the lay of the land of who's ranking for what keywords, what search volume those keywords are driving, how many units you actually need to go ahead and move per week via ads or through organic sales to boost your ranking for that keyword, and kind of shows you how you can actually rank for these terms based on what your product is most similar to. So when we're looking for keyword relevance, we're really looking for three main metrics. We want to see a click-through rate from search of about 1% or greater. We want to see an average conversion rate of around 10% for the products within that keyword. And we want to see at least 5 ranking competitor products for that keyword. These are all just signals that show us that, hey, yes, we can rank for this keyword, and it's going to produce enough sales to really get things going for us. The main place where you find this information is actually in the brand analytics tabs. If you guys have access already to the product, if it's one that you've launched, you can actually see what your click-through rate and conversion rate is and what the average is for that keyword. If you haven't launched a product yet, you can use other tools like Data Dive and Data Rover to go ahead and pull this information for all of the keywords that you're going to target. So you know what your category average is and if we'd be able to rank for it. The second biggest piece is sales driving factors. So really kind of making sure that there's that 1% click-through rate and 10% conversion rate on the keywords is letting us know where in the funnel that customer is and if we're going to be able to get sales from that. So you'll see a lot of like large volume terms like collagen, where the overall conversion rate for that term is very low. It's around like 3 to 4% on Amazon, because it is just a main broad discovery keyword. People are clicking into multiple products and looking for things. It's typically not a keyword that you want to go after at the beginning of a new product launch, or even when you're not ranking for the kind of middle ground keywords on existing products. So typically we'll leave those out and filter them out right from the get-go. The second is purchasing. This is where that conversion rate factor kind of comes into play. On most keywords on Amazon, the conversion rates for purchasing keywords falls between about 10 to 20%. So those are kind of our high volume keywords. We know they're going to produce sales organically for us through Amazon's flywheel once we're ranking. And anything that's above that 20% conversion rate is usually a branded term. The main reason we kind of call that out as search intent here is on Amazon, it's honestly really hard to know what is a branded term because there are so many players in the spaces that most people have never ever heard of. So a little bit harder to pull those out, but usually those conversion rate factors will help you do that. The second big thing with sales driving is we want to make sure that they're producing at least 90 sales per day. The main key behind this is Amazon ranks your product as a whole across all keywords based on the velocity of total units that you're selling plus the units that you're selling for that individual keyword. So if we're trying to target a keyword that only produces 10 organic sales per week and we're getting 20% of those sales, that's only 2 sales per week that we're getting for that keyword. It's not enough juice to ramp up our volume enough to show Amazon that, hey, we're doing well within this category. Where if you did that same thing with a 90 sales per week item, you're getting about 18 sales, which is enough to help show the indication that you're moving in the right direction, and Amazon will reward you with better rankings across all the keywords that kind of fit within that relevancy bubble for your product. The other big thing is the sales volume to ranking ratio. So we'll get into that a little bit later on another slide. But really the difference between ranking for a keyword that does 90 sales organically per week and 10 sales per keyword per week is really only 1 to 2 extra sales over that period of a week. So not much more effort to rank for those higher volume keywords, and your return is going to be a lot greater. It also increases the profitability of those organic sales once the Amazon flywheel is going. The third thing that we really look at is, are we going to be able to compete conversion rate wise? So like in the collagen example, there's a bunch of different like sub keywords that kind of come up for that, beauty collagen or individual serving, different things like that. We just want to make sure that, hey, we are fitting the criteria for each of those keywords. If you aren't, that's where we kind of look into the listing and see if we can develop content around that to make our product more viable for those specific keywords, and then changing the content on your listing throughout the process as we're targeting and working with more keywords, just to remove as much friction as possible and hopefully increase conversion rates overall. So when we're optimizing our content, Amazon doesn't treat everything fairly when it comes to kind of how they organize your product via the SEO indicators that you're giving it. The main reason behind this is they obviously can't search the index fully of every single product when someone does type a search on Amazon. So they're mainly looking in these 4 places, but titles hold the most relevancy by far. So any keywords that you really want to optimize for, you want to make sure that those are somewhere within your title. You may see this on Amazon from time to time with what I would call more nefarious brands that just stuff the title full of keywords that don't really make much sense. That does technically work on Amazon for SEO and indexing purposes, and that's why they're doing it. But you're not going to have a great conversion rate because it's not a good experience for the buyer. So while you're doing this, you want to make sure everything's still readable in your brand voice and selling the products correctly. The next place where you can really expand upon this is in your bullets. You really want to focus on your features benefits here. We used to say that larger bullets were better. You do have 250 characters per bullet to work with, but we've been discovering, at least for the last year, shorter and more precise bullets have been helping. We believe a lot of this is due to the amounts of mobile traffic that happens on Amazon, and long bullet points just take up more room and most people don't read them. So making sure they're really focused on the key features that you're selling, while also making sure you're fitting those keywords into those bullets. The third place that's really looked at by Amazon is your backend details. A lot of people know about like your search terms on the back end that you can fill out, but there is an amazing amount of other things that you can fill out on the back end. They're different for every single category, so make sure you download the browse free guide for your specific category, and you can actually look for your specific subcategory that you're in, and it will tell you exactly what Amazon is searching for on that back end when they're organizing you for search. I would say of the accounts that we audit, over 80% of them don't even have any of these filled in beyond the search terms on the back end. So it's a very easy way to kind of get a leg up on a lot of your competition. And it honestly only takes a few minutes per listing to fill these out. So if that's one thing I would recommend doing right away, it's definitely this. And then the final spot is really descriptions. This does not hold much weight overall in how Amazon ranks you for the keywords. It does help index you for keywords, but very lightly. So we would suggest really going a bit overboard here and adding in as many keywords as you can. You have 2,000 characters to work with, and just making sure that you're fitting everything in for all of the keywords that you're really wanting to target for these products. The main thing with the descriptions is if you do have A+ content, your descriptions usually do not show. If that is the case, you can be a little bit more keyword heavy with your descriptions because it won't need to be as readable. But if you don't have A+ content, or if you're in one of the categories where it still shows the A+ content and description, I would definitely make sure this is still readable and formatted in kind of an HTML format where you do have breaks and bullet points in it, just to make it easier for that end customer. All right, so after you've got all the content, the next big thing is really planning how you're going to launch or relaunch your product and setting everything up when it comes to the keywords and how many sales you need to drive per item. There's a lot of things that you can do to go ahead and promote this and increase the conversion rate even outside of ads. So we'll go through some of those as well, and some of the other traffic generating subsets before we jump into the ad setup. So typically whenever we're launching or relaunching a product, we go through really 4 steps. The main step is setting up your ranking planner where you're picking the keywords that you're going after. Step 2 is how are we generating this traffic and reviews. Step 3 we call algo fluffing, which is basically making sure we're giving Amazon the inputs that they're looking for at the end of the day to make sure our products are moving up organically. And then the final step is the maintenance period, where once you're ranking organically, how do you make sure that your products stay at the top of the page for that keyword, but also making it sure that you aren't overspending on those keywords once you are ranking, and really letting the Amazon flywheel go to work and picking up as many organic sales as possible from those placements. So This is another kind of pull out from Data Dive and kind of how we look at our ranking planner. Again, it will have all of the main keywords that are driving volume. It'll have how many units you need to sell on a weekly basis to make sure that you're ranking highly for those keywords. And then gives you a little bit more data on kind of how many products are competing or appearing for that search term, and then how many people actually have the keyword that you're targeting within their current listing. So the big things that we're looking for here is low competing products. Makes it easier to rank if we're going up against, like in this example, 999 products versus 30,000 for some of these more broad terms. And then again, looking to make sure that the competition isn't actually actively targeting those keywords with their SEO. So the lower the number, the better here. You'll find that there will be a lot of zeros across many keywords. Main reason behind that is just the title space is so limited. A lot of times people don't work on fitting all of the keywords in, or they don't change their titles over time, which we highly recommend. Once you're ranking well for a keyword, you go ahead and replace that keyword with another one that you aren't ranking well for and cycle those through to make sure that you're continuing to give Amazon that boost that you need. During the launch, there's really a couple of different things that we want to do to boost traffic generation, even outside of running ads. These are the four that we really kind of focus on, with really the main one being social coupons and price discounts. Typically, those two will help you quite a bit just because Amazon has a high volume of overall organic traffic. If you are seeing that your traffic is slower, that's when we'll start to venture into kind of influencer and vine stacking strategies to make sure we're getting reviews and enough traffic to the listings. Social promo coupons are one that I don't think too many people use, at least not at the way that we use them. The main setup of these coupons is it's on the back end under promotions. But most people will share these with influencers or use them with their own social posts because it gives you a direct URL that you can go to that automatically adds the coupon or discount to the product, and the customer can then check out instantly. But they have a feature on the back end where you can actually click to share this with Amazon influencers. And what that actually does, and you can kind of see that here on the right-hand side, is it promotes your coupon in the Amazon Associates program, which is Amazon's own affiliate program. There's hundreds of thousands of affiliates within there. So getting a placement on this and getting a high placement within those pages of codes could be just a huge jump in traffic. We've had some of these codes go super viral, and we're selling 10 to 20,000 units in a 2-day period because so many influencers pick them up. But it is hit or miss. So we definitely recommend kind of trying different promo prices, starting with a low percentage and seeing what the take rate is and how many clicks you're getting through that. If you aren't getting enough, then bumping it up kind of to a higher discount level and continue doing that until you're seeing enough traffic for what you're trying to accomplish. The second one that we really lay into is price discounts. So the main goal with these is you get a call out in search. So you get the like 28% off or whatever your percentage off is. These look a lot bigger on mobile. This is a screenshot from desktop. Usually when we run these, we see about a 10 or 12 to 14% lift in clicks just from organic search. On ads, it actually goes up about 20 to 25%. So really just helping to get that click-through rate up and making sure we're showing Amazon that we are relevant for that keyword by getting a lot of traffic from search. The third one that we do if we aren't getting enough traffic from these other options is influencer outreach. So we use Levanta. It's an Amazon specific influencer platform that basically allows you to pass on your brand referral bonus to influencers. So you can offer them a 10% commission on sales, and that will be net even for you because Amazon pays you 10% of whatever they buy through the brand links. If you want to offer larger discounts, you can. Typically, if we're trying to relaunch or completely launch a new product, we'll offer 25 to 30% just to help increase the amount of influencers that want to work for us. And typically we're going for about 10 to 15 UGC videos through these and having them post them on their social channels. And then we're also reusing those UGC videos as video ads on Amazon through our listing, and then as well for ads that we'll be running later. And then the last piece that we focus on here is Vine stacking. So Vine is a program that allows you to get reviews, up to 30 reviews per product. Typically, there is an enrollment fee of around $200 per product that you do. But they do have promotions from time to time. There's actually one going on now where you can activate Vine for free. So make sure you're taking advantage of those when they do run those promotions. The big thing here is if you have a listing that has like 5 variations in it, it will only let you enroll one item from that variation at Vine. If you actually break that variation up, you can then enroll all 5 products in Vine and they'll all get 30 reviews, and then you can revariate them back together into one variation. So instead of having 30 reviews on that case, you would have 150 reviews basically. So a huge opportunity to skyrocket your review ratings. A lot of times we'll go ahead and do this in other ways where, say, you only sell a single unit of the product. We'll pre-kit multi-packs, so like a 2-pack, a 3-pack, and a 4-pack, and we'll enroll all of those in Vine and then go ahead and variate the listings together. So you're still getting that benefit of being able to have multiple Vine products on one listing and getting as many reviews as possible within that initial period. And then during launch, there's really 4 big impacts that Amazon's looking for. Main one is page interactions, then add to carts and wish lists. Third is product comparisons. And then the last option that they're looking at is actual buys. These are kind of rated in order of the view that Amazon looks at them. Page interactions and add to carts kind of go back and forth between that top position, but buys is not the largest factor in why you'll actually rank for a keyword, which a lot of people think that's kind of counterproductive, but Amazon is very confident in their ability to remarket to you and get that sale. So as long as they're coming to your page or adding to cart, they have a pretty good overall close rate. During launch, we're doing different things to go ahead and get higher page interactions and add to carts. So we want to mimic what people would normally be doing to listings, scrolling pages, looking at images, videos, clicking on different things within the page and looking at reviews. We do this through a variety of ways. The main way that we're really pushing these types of things is through coupon codes, where we're giving them coupon codes through a landing page where it's kind of like a scavenger hunt where we're asking them, hey, like what color is the background of the third image of the listing to unlock like your 30% off coupon code. So they'll go to your listing, they'll scroll through the third image, they'll come back, enter it, and then we're giving them that coupon code, which kind of leads into our add to carts. With the coupon codes, you can only see the value of the coupon codes once they've added to cart, then they can enter the coupon codes. So within those same ads, a lot of times what we're doing is saying like, hey, here's a standard 10% off coupon. If you participate in our scavenger hunt, you can get a mystery coupon up to 50% off for the product. And that will go ahead and give you more traffic to your listing, more people that are engaging with the listing, and then ultimately more people that are adding to cart just because they want to see if they were one of the ones that got a higher percentage off coupon. The main kind of overall flow of these is really not to get buys, it's just to get page interactions and add to carts, since that's what Amazon favors. we really rely on the ads and other pieces that we're running to go ahead and make sure those conversions flow through. The main way that we're doing a lot of these is through email lists and mini chat flows through Facebook ads, just so that we can stay in contact with that user and make sure that we're getting all the right touch points that we want throughout that process. The third thing that Amazon looks at is product comparison interactions. This is one where they viewed another product page, say they search keto snacks, they viewed a different product, but we want them to buy our Monk Pack bars after viewing another product. So we'll do that for a variety of ways. You can kind of do this in your mini chat flows through basically sending them to Amazon and telling them to search for the product. The main way that we do it is through on-page product ads. You can do these through sponsored display. You can actually do them as sponsored brand video ads now, and even sponsored product ASIN targeting ads. And just making sure that you're appearing in one of these top slots on all of your main competitors is a great way to grab these page interactions from other types of products that convert for your terms. All right, so here we're going to go over how we're using ads to rank and kind of what that setup is. So we'll go through kind of the types of ads here first, just so that everyone has an understanding, and then we'll go through what those look like when they're set up. So sponsored products is really just the main search ad, very similar to Google ads or Google shopping ads. They're highly targeted to the keyword. They usually have the highest cost per clicks, but they also have the highest conversion rates. We typically see about 50 to 60% of our Amazon budget is going into these ads, just because they are high intent drivers and you're getting credit for that keyword when they go ahead and buy from one of these ads. The next type is product display ads. These are also highly targetable towards categories as well as competitor products. The main difference between these and sponsored product ads is they actually show like these little blurbs where you can add in headlines, you can change the images, you can change the call outs. It will pull the coupons through that are running for your product. So there's a lot of things you can do to kind of juice the click-through rates on these and increase your click-through rates. So we usually always recommend having coupons on when you're really pushing these, just so you get that extra call out, and then always making sure that you're adding in headlines and custom images, because without headlines or custom images, these ads won't appear in certain placements on Amazon. So just make sure all of those options in the back end when you're doing the creative in the ads manager has everything filled in. These typically run at about 10 to 15% of our budget. And then sponsored brand product targeting ads. So these are ones that appear on competitors' product pages. You'll see them right below the sponsored product page ads. Again, here you can be creative, add your logos, add your headlines. They usually have a lot cheaper clicks than just about any other ad type, because not many people really focus on these. But it allows you to really engage in shoppers that are viewing competitors, and again, get that product association with other top selling competitors that Amazon's really looking for. The other main thing that this does is it helps to increase the frequently bought together, which is this up here right below the buy box on Amazon. When you can trigger these and get all of your items into other competitors frequently bought together, you'll see about a 10 to 15% sales bump, just because a lot of people do go ahead and click those and add all to cart. And with these, we're typically running about 20 to 30% of our budget, give or take. And then the other main one that we're running is sponsored brand video ads. There's a lot of new things that have kind of been coming out with these, where Amazon's allowing you to run them off of Amazon through their OTT network. Really, those are more for brand awareness. So if you're trying to rank for keywords, we wouldn't run them off Amazon until you're actually ranking for a lot of the keywords that you're going after. But during the initial period of launching, these do appear in search. They sometimes appear on product pages, and Amazon's coming up with new placements for them all the time. The good thing about them is you pay per click, not per impression. So it does raise a lot of awareness. You end up getting a lot of impressions and views without actually paying for any clicks. So a great way to just take up space in search when you're trying to rank for keywords and raise awareness pretty cheaply. And then the last item on Amazon ads is display ads through their DSP network. So these are typically very top of funnel ads unless you're running retargeting ads. You can run retargeting through AMS through sponsored display, but you get a lot more selective in your targeting with DSP than you do with those sponsored display ads in the AMS portal. Typically, we'd recommend staying away from these while you're trying to increase rankings for keywords, because even though they do produce a lot of impressions and traffic, it's usually less converting traffic, and we want to make sure our conversion rates are staying at high as possible during this period. They do also typically have a higher minimum because if you don't have an agency partner that you're working with, you do have to work directly with Amazon Media Group, and they typically charge around $35K per campaign. That does include about 3 months worth of flight time for that, but there are certain periods where they do lower the minimums. Right now it's been around 10K in recent talks that we've had with them. So definitely an opportunity if you're already spending a lot elsewhere to expand your reach, but not the best for jumping up your rankings for keywords. All right. So now we're going to go over kind of the campaign setup, and this is how we look at launching or continuing to increase rankings for any product on Amazon. We break it down into basically a 4-week kind of module. The first week, what we're doing is running exact match single keyword campaigns for the keywords that we're wanting to rank higher for. And then we're also running sponsored product ASIN targeting campaigns for the top ASINs that are ranking for those keywords. You can pull that data through the brand analytics data on a daily or weekly basis to see what top 3 products are getting the most conversions for the keywords you're targeting. And we're just throwing all of those ASINs into one campaign to try and go ahead and increase our relevancy for those keywords. The second thing that we're launching with one is our sponsored brand video phrase ads. So just phrase match for the keywords that we're targeting. The main reason we don't do exact here is exact doesn't get that many impressions out of the gate. You need to kind of warm these campaigns up from what we've seen, where phrase will get a lot more and you'll have more to optimize against. And then the last one that we launched in week 1 is our sponsored display, where we're taking those same top ASINs from campaign 1 that we're launching and launching a campaign targeting those ASINs from our top terms that we're targeting. In week 2, we aren't adding any new campaigns. We're really just reviewing conversion rates. We want to make sure that our conversion rates are matching what the top sellers are doing for brand analytics, and that we're hitting kind of our weekly sales unit goal for those products and those keywords. Any ones that we're not, we're optimizing. And then we're also expanding our sponsored display ads with more tailored copy for specific ASINs. So an example would be if you're selling a collagen product that's organic, but the competitors aren't, adding in some of those competitors that aren't organic and making sure that your headline is calling out that you are organic or that you're vegan. Really just any kind of extra benefit that you have that your competitors don't to increase that keyword association. Week 3, we're launching phrase matches for all of our top keywords. The main thing here is just to continue expanding the impressions and clicks that we're getting across the board. But we are negative matching out any exact match keywords that we do have in our first campaign to make sure that we aren't bidding on the same keyword in multiple campaigns. And then we're also launching targeted headline campaigns for our sponsored brands, where we're kind of taking the exact same methodology down here, where if we're vegan, organic, gluten-free, or any other type of offering that would really help sell the product that other ASINs aren't, that's what we're going after. And then in week 4, we're removing the non-performers and optimizing the ones that are performing to make sure that we're hitting conversion rates. The main overall goal on these is really not ROAS or ACoS specific for kind of the first 4-week period. All we're really looking to do is making sure that we're hitting those conversion rates so that we're giving Amazon the right signs that we're showing. And then here is kind of the breakdown of each of these. We'll go through kind of these quickly so that we can get to any questions you guys may have. But it will tell you typically how we're doing things, where we're looking for about 15 to 20 keywords max in our first campaign. We're doing 15% over whatever Amazon is saying the suggested bid is, and then we're giving it a top of search modifier of 150%. That way, we're making sure that we're getting enough impressions to get learnings to go ahead and optimize there that following week. Usually, if you keep bids low and don't add on top of search modifiers, you'll start to have problems with delivery and not getting enough volume through to actually make the optimizations that will make a difference down the line. And then for our competitor ASIN targeting, this again is where we're pulling all of those top ASINs for the keywords that we're targeting. And we're bidding very low, usually less than 5 cents, because we don't want these ads to appear in the search page. We want them to appear on product place or product pages. So we're updating the top of search modifier to 450 to 900% on those product page placements to make sure that they're only appearing on product pages. And then for week 3, when we're adding in our phrase match, we're targeting all of the exact same terms that we targeted in our exact match campaign at phrase match, and negative matching all of those exact terms out so that you aren't bidding against them, but it's finding other derivatives of those keywords to bid against. And then we're bidding about 20% less than what the current exact match bid is for that keyword, just so that we aren't competing at all and getting top placements where we may be getting them for other campaigns that we have live. For sponsored brands, very similar, same thing for targeting. It's the 15 to 20 keywords in both exact and phrase match. We're bidding about 100 to 150% higher on exact match bids. You'll actually see that you get way less impressions on them, even with those higher bids, but it does help the campaign to have both of them in. If you are seeing low impressions, go ahead and increase the bids across all of the keywords until you start to see impressions by about 10% per day. One key thing that we do with a lot of our sponsored brand videos is we design them in 2 to 5 second segments where we have different benefits and features laid out. So that way, when we get to kind of week 3, where we're optimizing for specific keywords or callouts, we can easily snip 5 of these segments together and switch out those benefits features without having to recreate the entire video. And then we're targeting single keywords in each of these campaigns and really tailoring each video to a very specific keyword. On week 3, when we're adding in those headline ads, again, we're targeting those same top terms and multiple campaigns with those specific feature call headlines like the organic, vegan, gluten-free, things like that, and making sure that we're clustering similar keywords together and that copy matches whatever those clusters are. And then for sponsored display, we're using those exact same top converting ASINs for the keywords that we're targeting. We're writing a generic custom headline, custom image. It'll help it serve in more places on the page and hopefully get higher click-through rates. And then we always start these on cost per view impressions. The main reason here is just to scale these as quickly as possible. If you do cost per click, or you can do it based on a few other things, you're not going to get as many impressions out of the gate. So we set it up like that and then increase the bids by 30% from the suggested bids to make sure we're getting enough to optimize. On week 2, we're tailoring these down from our top performing ASINs and then writing custom copy and creative around negative reviews and features about our competitors' products and any other features, benefits that we may be seeing that competitors don't have. So when we're optimizing, we're only looking at three things during that first 4 weeks. And what you'll find is your performance in ads will look very bad from a ROAS ACoS perspective, but your top line sales are going to increase and your TACOs will decrease when you're doing this. So we look at conversion rate, detail page views, and how we're trending in the brand analytics data, both in the search query data and in the top terms data. So with this, you can see here what our conversion rate is and what the brand analytics data is. As long as we're beating the brand analytics conversion rate data for the top three items, we're continuing to spend against that keyword, even if the ACoS, which you can see over here, isn't that great. But what you'll end up seeing is overall sales from these will be extremely high. Your CPAs will start to drop after about that 4 week period, and then your organic rankings will be so high that the organic flywheel will produce enough sales to make those spends worth it. Usually we'll continue optimizing like this for the first 3 months, unless we see huge losses in organic rankings, then we'll go ahead and start to optimize a little bit more towards ROAS or ACoS, just to make sure that we're making money on the ads that we're running while continuing to maintain positions. The second piece is detail page views. So this is a key part that a lot of people miss out on because they're really going for conversions. Amazon gives us all the data now through the search query report that shows you how many detail page views people are getting, what the add to cart rate is, and what the purchase rate is. You'll typically see purchase rates are 10 to 15% on most keywords. So it means they're getting 10 to 15 sessions on their page before someone's making a purchase. So if you are converting really high, your rankings won't actually increase unless your detail page views match similar to what other top competing products are doing. The main reason behind this is Amazon kind of has a stop loss in their algorithm for organic rankings, where they're trying to weed out people that are cheating the system by just sending only conversions for keywords. So key component here, that's kind of what the sponsored brand video ads do, and a lot of the sponsored display ads do. We aren't looking for huge conversions there. We're just looking for a lot of clicks and detail page views. And that is it. So we'll open up the questions.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. So much actionable advice in there. I love it. And we have a lot of good questions from the audience already. So let's dive right in. Couple of software questions first. I see you're already starting to type, Matt, but one person was asking about the software you mentioned at the beginning. I'm thinking it was right around when you were talking about Data Dive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so it's Data Dive, and then the other one that we use is Data Rova, ROVA. Data Dive does a lot of the overall analysis of all the products in the category for the keywords that you're going after, where Data Rova gives you the brand analytics data on a daily, weekly, or monthly view going back 2 years. So you can pull all of that data at once, versus if you're doing it in the Amazon portal, you actually have to pull them all individually, like week by week or day by day, which can take a really long time.
Awesome. Okay, that's good to know. And then the other software question was the influencer program. I believe that was Levanta or Levanta.
Yeah, it's Levanta. It is LAVANTA.com. They will basically hook into your brand referral bonus program, and they'll track all of the earnings for every single affiliates through their software and pay out to the affiliates from that. So you don't have to do anything. It's kind of on autopilot and super easy to set up. Cool.
Great. And another person asks what the average CPC is that you see across ranking campaigns.
So it varies widely across whatever the category is. Like in supplements, it's extremely high. It's like $7 to $12 per click on some main keywords, where if it's something like a closet organizer, it's going to be a lot lower overall CPC of like $2 to $3. So it's all over the place. Typically, you're going to be bidding for top of search placements. So usually whatever Amazon is suggesting as a bid, about 30 to 40% above that is what the top of search bid is for that keyword.
Cool. Great. And then we have a few questions from Evan here. Do you recommend driving paid social traffic from Meta to your Amazon listing directly versus owned Shopify site?
Yes. So I would say if you're seeing diminishing returns, which a lot of our clients are, and sending traffic to Shopify, the conversion rates for ads straight to Amazon and straight to the listings are a bit higher from what we've seen. The main reason I would suggest sending traffic to Amazon from paid social is just it helps the Amazon algorithm. They love outside traffic. You'll rank better for keywords. So if you get one sale from an outside social source or even from Google ads, it's worth about 3 to 4 organic sales on Amazon. So it does help skyrocket things, but I wouldn't turn off traffic to your own B2C site completely. I would start to just carve out a little bit of budget for Amazon directly.
Great. And then another question, do these strategies that you've shared also work for higher price point premium brands on Amazon? So namely lesser known startup fashion brands?
They do. The main reason I think they do on Amazon is, especially in fashion, if you look at the brand names of a lot of these Chinese companies that are dominating the top of Amazon fashion, they're like ABC Zing company, like the brands are just awful. So that has no indication in conversion rates. The big thing though, when you are a higher price point product, you really need to make sure that your listings are up to standards for that higher price point and why it is a higher price point. So if it's made in the US, if it's made with better materials, making sure you're calling all of that out and even putting possible comparison videos. We actually used to work with a leggings brand company that sold for around $45 a pair when the going rate on Amazon is like 3 pairs for $20. So we did a lot of videos where we were comparing all the top selling Amazon brands and showing how much stronger our fabric was, like it wasn't see-through, all the main key call outs that people were looking for and the issues they had with those cheaper versions.
Awesome. I think that's great advice. Okay, so got that one. What else do we have here? For organic ranking, is Amazon like Google, where the algorithm, excuse me, will change and suddenly a technique that used to work is no longer working or even penalized?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so this does happen from time to time. I would say the last time this happened at a big extent was like 2 years ago. But the fundamentals behind it stay exactly the same. They're looking for page interactions and add to carts is the number one ranking factor and have been for as long as I've been on Amazon. So as long as you're doing those in the correct ways and doing them in white hat ways, they'll always work. There are ways that a lot of nefarious sellers are doing these things. Those do get caught a lot more frequently and they get penalized, but we've never seen anyone that's done it through this way get penalized. And we've been doing it this way for almost 4 years now.
Great. Okay, and one attendee asked about ManyChat and was just curious what that is.
Yeah, so ManyChat is actually a app that integrates, I think they integrate with WhatsApp now as well, but mainly with Facebook Messenger. So it allows you to run ads on Facebook through Facebook Messenger, where if they see an ad and you click the like send the message button to interact with the ad, it allows you to basically start that communication, send them the coupon code, collect email addresses, all through an automated chatbot that will do that and basically spit out the coupon codes for them to go buy the items on Amazon. So it's pretty easy to set up. They have a lot of tutorials. And Seller Tools is one of the main softwares that directly integrates with it. And they help you link your Amazon products and do things to show the correlation between ManyChat sales and Amazon sales.
Great. Thank you for that explanation, Matt. Another person asks, how many weeks do you have to run ranking campaigns to solidify ranking?
So it does depend on the category. If it's in like supplements or fashion, it's typically longer. We're running anywhere from a month and a half to 2 months. If it's something where, hey, you're inventing a new product within the category, it's a lot less. It can be a month or even like 20 days, and you'll start getting enough organic sales that you can pull way back on the ads that you're running. The main trigger that we kind of look at is, are we holding that position for around 10 days? So say you're running this campaign and you're 20 days in and you've held position 2 for the last 10 days, you can start to pull back spend on that keyword because you're more than likely getting enough organic sales to keep that position. If you do see your organic rankings start to drop, just turn those ads back on, and then you can go ahead and start picking up those sales again.
Great. And then the last question so far. So if any of you are sitting on a question that you've been waiting to ask, now's the time. This person asks, do you incorporate outside sources of traffic in ranking campaigns such as Google, PR, et cetera?
So we do a lot of influencers, which I would say kind of falls under PR. Main reason behind that is the TikTok craze. I would say that's been going on for at least the last like year and a half. Amazon does not have a perfect way to see when something goes viral on social. They do pick up on social signals, which like Google's SEO bots do as well, and they rank certain pages higher based on those social signals, but TikTok moves so fast, it can't keep up. So what ends up happening when you promote things on TikTok, since it's hard to link out directly to products, a lot of people end up just going to Amazon, searching a brand name or searching like collagen TikTok. And Amazon will see that. They'll see that your product is getting bought when that's being searched, and they'll realize like, oh crap, this product is going viral. We need to make them number 1 for every keyword in this category, and it will last as long as that kind of viralness lasts. So we do pump a lot of volume through TikTok if we're having trouble ranking, or because it will juice that algorithm quite a bit. Google does work pretty well. You can use your brand attribution links there and target things. I would say just make sure in Google you're going for really low funnel sales driving keywords. It doesn't hurt to send a lot of traffic from high volume keywords on Google, but your conversion rates will start to fall. So during a period where you're trying to bump rankings, make sure it's super high conversion terms that you're running against.
Great. And one more question did come in. Do influencer campaigns also include programs like Creator Connections?
So we do not use Creator Connections. They've made a lot of updates to the program here in the last like 6 months, and it's gotten a bit better. But from what we've seen, the prices that are being charged in there from some of the bigger creators, they just aren't worth it. You can go direct to a lot of those creators and get things cheaper. But we've never gotten great performance when we have run these. So we're usually sourcing the influencers ourselves through Levanta, where that commission is paid by Amazon back to them, or we're sourcing them ourselves outside of that platform and just giving them a brand referral bonus link to use.
Great. Thanks, Matt. And the last one for now, potentially, ads showing on competitor products. Can you prevent this from happening to your products?
So theoretically, yes, if you have enough products in your category, you can bid really high on a bunch of campaigns for those products to target your own product pages through ASIN targeting. I will say it's not a perfect setup because Amazon doesn't, or the way that their like bidding system works, you could then bid $10 per click and the next highest click could be $2. But if Amazon finds the second product to be more relevant and a higher purchase rate, they'll actually serve that other ad over yours and they'll put you further down. So you would have to have a lot of highly relevant products that you could do that with to make it perfect. But we do typically set up defensive campaigns to try and keep as many people off of our product listings as possible. Another way that you can do this is through certifications. So Amazon partnered with Supplier Gateway, and you can actually access this if you go into your Seller Central accounts or even your Vendor Central accounts and go to your account info and then click into your account name to see like what your account profile looks like. It's the same profile that pops up. Actually, I'll show you one because it's actually kind of confusing. 1 second.
Cool. And while Matt's pulling that up, guys, if you haven't had a chance yet to take our poll, we'd love to hear your feedback on this session. So please do drop a vote in there before you head out. And Matt, just a couple clarifications on the question that you're currently answering. This person's also wondering if you can choose which products your ad shows on, or like, and then to clarify, just because their product is sponsored, that won't stop competitor ads from showing on it, which it sounds like that's the case.
Correct. Yeah, so let me go to. Of course, it's not loading. I'll show you what it looks like here. 1 second. So when you click onto someone's brand name on their product page, it will take you to this where it tells you about the seller. When you come to this page, when you're logged in as yourself, you'll actually see a button you can click right here that will say certifications. There are a ton of certifications. A lot of Amazon sellers already have small business certifications that Amazon automatically puts through. But if you go to Supplier Gateway, you can look at all the different certifications. There's Black-owned business, minority, woman-owned, veteran-owned, all different types. Those actually show up down here. You can see this one has a small business one, but if you can stack up enough of these certifications, it will actually sometimes not show these sponsored segments or push these sponsored segments down far enough that most people won't scroll to actually see them. So highly recommend doing that as much as possible. You can also stack multiple different promos. So you could do like buy this product, get 10% off another product within your catalog, and that will appear right here. You can create coupons like that for every single product in your catalog. So you'd have like 20 coupons if you had 20 products, and all of those would show. So again, it just pushes those sponsored placements down further and further on your detail page. So less people are likely to click them.
Great. Thanks, Matt. That was helpful. All right. And last question before we close out this awesome session. You mentioned FBT, which I believe was frequently bought together. Is that something that Amazon selects? So you have to earn your way into it? Or is there another way?
So they recently actually started doing a sponsored segment within there. So you'll see sometimes it does say sponsored, frequently bought together. There's not a perfect science on how to bid to actually appear in that section as sponsored, because Amazon doesn't really tell you or call out that it's appearing in that placement. So really not a guaranteed way to do it. The best way to do it is to get people to buy your products together with others of your products. And it really doesn't take that much, because at the end of the day, in your brand analytics data, you can see the data and it'll tell you the percentage of people who bought your product and then what the number 2 bought product and third bought product was. It's honestly never more than like 5 or 6 units from what we've seen. So if you do one of those coupons where, like on the protein powder example that we were just showing, and you want your vitamin D3 to be frequently bought together with that, you can do a coupon where if you buy your protein powder at full price, you get 50% off vitamin D3, get 5 of those within a week, and then you'll appear with both of those products in your frequently bought together.
Awesome. Well, Matt, thank you so much for such a killer session. Again, so much, actionable advice in here. Really appreciate you taking the time. And thanks to all of you attendees who were able to join us today. We hope you learned a thing or two about how to rank on Amazon and use Amazon ads to help you do so. As I mentioned, we will be sharing a recording and Matt's slides within the next couple of days. So keep an eye on your inboxes for those. Matt, anything else you want to add before we jump off?
No, I think that's it.
Awesome. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. Bye-bye.